Okay, so welcome to our online friends right now. So guys, all we're gonna do today is just review rounding. So we're just gonna review things that we've already learned, and then we're gonna go back onto our computers and work on that rounding activity that we had up that we started last week, okay? So first thing I want you to do on your dry erase boards is I want you to go ahead and draw me a number line that is going to show me which two tens this number would be in between. So if I have 573, draw me a number line that will show me which two tens 573 is going to be in between. So I see people thinking about which number is in the tens place. Which number is in the tens place, everybody?
7.
7. Is this really a 7?
No.
No. What's the value of this number?
70.
70. So this number in the tens place already tells us the first 10. It's between 70 and then what would the next 10 be? 80. But something we have to remember is this is not just 70 and this is not just 80. What does it have to be, everybody? 500. Thank you. 570, 580. So we have to remember to add those on. Now, does anybody remember how to find the halfway mark between these two numbers? What's half of 10? Between 570 and 580, there would be 10 little dash marks for 10 numbers. So what is half of 10? Show me on your fingers. Okay, 5. So half of 10 is 5. So instead of this just being 70, this would be 571, 572, 573, so 574, 575. Perfect. Now, this is where my knowledge of greater than, less than, or equal to comes in really, really handy. In fact, go ahead and write on your board this number sentence. 573 is greater than, less than, or equal to 575. Write that on your dry erase board. And if you're at home, write this on a piece of paper. Okay, show me your boards. Perfect. I see lots of people showing me that 573 is less than 575. Let's all say this together. Ready?
573 is less than 575.
Okay, so if it's less than, is it going to be to the left of 575 or to the right of 575?
Left.
To the left. It's going to be somewhere over here. If I want to get super, super detailed, I can literally go out and do that. Or I can just use my knowledge of numbers and where they fall in a number line to just put about where it's at. And I automatically know it's going to round to 570 because it is not past our halfway point. Show me if you agree. Thank you. I see lots of people showing me they agree. Okay, now, is anything going to change if I'm rounding to the nearest tens if I were to change this number maybe to, let's change it to 2,573.
Oh no.
So I'm going to add a 2,000 in here. Show me on your board what 2,573 would be if I rounded it to the nearest tens. Go ahead and write that on your board. Okay, so I noticed a lot of you remembered it's going to be the exact same answer.
Yeah.
The only difference is now instead of this just being rounded to the nearest 10 and rounding to 570 like we did for the first one, the only difference is I just add that 2,000 on the front. So it's 2,570. Got it?
We got it.
So the only difference is, remember, I don't really even have to pay attention to all the numbers to the left of my place value until I figured that out, what it would be rounded to the nearest tens. I don't really care about my numbers in the thousands place or the hundreds place. I really only care about my numbers in the tens and the ones place. So now let's take the same exact number, 2,573, and now let's round that to the nearest hundreds. So erase your board and round this to the nearest hundreds. So now you're telling me what 2 hundreds is 2,573 in between. So go ahead and write that on your board, please. Okay, so what 2 hundreds is 2,573 in between? Who can tell me? Isaiah?
1 ounce and 8 ounces.
Okay, so if we were doing thousands place, it would definitely be between 2,000 and 3,000. You're absolutely right. But if I'm dealing with the hundreds place, which number is in my hundreds place, Isaiah? The 5. So this 5 is the number I really want to look at. So what is the value of that 5? So is that really a 5? Or is that a 50, a 500, a 5,000? It's a what? So if it was right here in my tens place, it would be a 50. But it's in my hundreds place. 500, perfect. So I'm going to put 500 right here, and then everyone, my next 100 would be
600.
600. Now remember, I'm going to add that 2,000 on at the end, but I don't want it to trick me up right now, and I don't want it to mess me up just because it's like a big number and my mind starts freaking out. I can tell my mind, just chill. We're only dealing with hundreds of numbers right now. We'll add on 1,000 at the end. So what number is halfway between 500 and 600? This one, we knew that there were 10 numbers in between. So we knew half of 10 was 5. But now, active listeners, thank you, we see that 500 to 600, there's 100 numbers in between there. Do you guys want to sit here and draw out 100 little dash marks?
No.
I sure don't want to do that. So it would be easier for me to just count by tens. So what do you think the halfway mark would be right here? And Avery, why don't you sit back a little bit because of the camera being right there. Thank you, sweetheart. Kennedy? 2,500 what? 50? So we would have, we already know it's going to be 500 something. Did you say 550? Okay. So 550 would be in between 500 and 600. And then she's already knowing that she just has to add her 2,000 on to all of these because we really are dealing with 2,000, not just hundreds. So let's think to ourselves something we already know. We're doing 2,573 is greater than, less than, or equal to 2,550. Show me on your board what you think. Show me what you're thinking. Okay, guys, go ahead and tell me what you wrote on your board.
2,000 is great.
Okay, let's try it again. Ready?
2,573 is greater than the 2,550.
Okay. How did you guys know it was greater than? Because that's a little, I mean, they look pretty close to me. So how on earth did you figure out that it's greater than? Brooke?
So you check to see the values, then you see which 7 is 7 and 5, and which one is greater is 7. So you just keep going for the values of the number.
Perfect. So Brooke was saying she just checked and compared each place value, starting with the greatest place value that she's got. The 2000s were the same, the 500s were the same, but the tens places were different, and that's what told her that this number was the greatest. Yes, Savannah?
You forgot to do this at the first one.
Oh, just the check marking at the top? Like this? Is that what you're talking about? That I forgot to do?
At the dad. Like you forgot to put it after 2. The dad.
Oh, commas, guys? Okay, so one thing I don't want you to get stuck on or hung up on is the commas, okay? The commas are just a way for us to quickly visualize how many digits are there. You know that if you see a comma, that means 3 digits are already there, so now we're in our thousands place. If a comma isn't there for some reason, does that automatically mean it's not 1,000 anymore? No, it's still in the thousands place. You just have to know that there's 4 digits, so it's in the thousands place. So if I missed a comma, that's okay. It's not like the answer is wrong. It just means, obviously I was going too fast, but it's not going to count that answer wrong for us. Got it?
We got
Okay, thank you. So since this is greater, I know it's going to be somewhere over here, and that makes my number rounded to the nearest 100. What, everybody?
2,600.
2,600. Are there any questions about this before we get started on our activity? Yes, Brooke.
I wasn't here for the activity.
So I'm going to explain it to everybody. Okay?
Yeah,
Yes, Daddy? All right, friends. So go ahead and you're going to need your dry erase boards, so leave them right where they are. And we're going to go ahead and work on our rounding activity, which is underneath the quarantine assignment. So we'll talk about that right now. So I'm going to turn these guys off.